Hello sewmates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video I'm going to be teaching us how to sew this Basque asymmetric gathers gown. If this is something you like, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like and share. Thank you. So for the fabrics, I have 1 yard of this net fabric and I have about 3 yards of crepe fabric. So if you want more fullness for the gathers, I'll suggest that you buy more yards of crepe, maybe like 4 yards. So I'll be dropping a link in the description box on how to draft the pattern for this particular style. So let's get right into it. So for the yoke, I have about 4 pieces. So I didn't cut it on fold, so I'm going to be joining it. So I had 0.5 inches round for the sewing allowance. And now, so for the side front, I added 0.5 inches on this line that I'm marking. Then by the side, to join the fabric by the side, I added 1 inches. I have about 4 pieces for the side front because one will serve as the lining. So for the center front, I added 0.5 inches around and I cut it on fold. It's cut on fold. Then I have about 2 pieces for the center front. So now we'll move to the back pattern. So I have the side front and the side back and the center back. So at the center back, I have 1 inches all the way down for the zipper allowance, and around the neckline, the shoulder, and joining it to the side front and the bottom, I have about 0.5 inches all around for the same allowance. Same for the side back as well. And for joining the main fabric by the side, I added 1 inches for the sewing allowance. So let's move to the bottom part. I use the pattern paper to cut the front and the back piece. So I make sure that 1 inches was added to the back piece for zipper allowance, and I added an half an inch around for sewing. So that's for the zipper allowance. So by the side, I added 1 inches for joining by the side. So this is what we have for the front and back pattern. So now we are going to be joining the side front and the center front together. Remember I said I have about 4 pieces for the side front and 2 pieces for the center front, which is on fold. So now what you are going to do, you are going to pick the wrong side, facing the wrong side. You are going to attach it to the center front, and you pick the other side of the side front and join it to the center front, just as you can see. So I'm also going to do that for the next fabric. So one of the fabric will serve as the lining. To serve as the lining, then you sew round 0.5 inches. So now for the yoke as well, I have about 4 pieces. So this straight line that I'm indicating, you are going to sew 0.5 inches straight. You're going to sew 0.5 inches straight. So this is what I have after joining it together, and I've also ironed it. So this is about 2 pieces, just as you can see, and this is also the yoke. I have also ironed it, just as you can see. So next thing is to show you that we are going to be attaching the yoke to the actual fabric. We are going to attach the yoke to the actual fabric, just as you can see. So you are just going to be pinning it down. You are going to be pinning it down like this. So the place that is not sewn is what is going to be around the armhole. The place that is not sewn is going to be around the armhole. So you pin it down, just as you can see. You also do that for the other side. You also pin it down as well. You pin it down carefully like this. Pin it down carefully like this. Pin it down carefully like this is what it looks like. Then you place the other fabric, which will serve as the lining. You place it on it like this. Then you go ahead, you take it to your sewing machine and sew 0.5 inches straight. We sew 0.5 inches straight. So I'm going to take it to the sewing machine. So this is what we have after sewing. So you can decide which will serve as the front or the back. So the owner of this outfit is a busty person, is a bust of bust 47 inches. On the upper part of the front. So next we move to the back pattern. So for the back, first you are going to be joining the center back together by 1 inch. But the stitches you'll be running on it will not be tight, to be loose stitch, because you're still going to be putting your zipper allowance. So yeah, now you're going to be taking one piece of the side back and the center back. You take one piece and join the wrong side facing the wrong side together, just as you can see me do. So I'm just going to use the pin to hold it down. Then I'll also do that for the other side, the wrong side facing the wrong side. Then you also use your pin to hold it down. So you're just going to be sewing 0.5 inches straight down and 0.5 inches on the other side as well. So now you're going to take it to the sewing machine. So this is what we have after taking it to the sewing machine. I've also gone ahead to iron it. So this is what the back looks like. So now you're going to be cutting an interface and around the neckline. So then you take your extra fabric, then you place the back pattern just like this. Then you trace out the interface for the neckline. So this is what I have. Then go ahead and use your scissors to cut it out. So this is what I have for the interface. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be sewing 0.5 inch around the edge of the interface so that it's not going to frill. So this is what I have after sewing 0.5 inches. So the next thing is to attach the interface to the neckline area. So I'm going to loosen the back a little bit, just as you can see. Then I'll take one piece of the interface, that is wrong side facing the wrong side. So by the time you sew it, it's going to fall into the other side. That is the wrong side of the actual back fabric. So I'm going to use my pin to hold it down. So I'll do the same for the other side, just as you can see. So by the time you sew this round, you make sure that you notch. Remember that it's curvy. For every curvy part, you make sure that you notch. So I'm just going to take it to the sewing machine and sew 0.5 inch round. So this is what the back pattern looks like around the neckline. I mean the fabric, the back. So this is what it looks like. So you make sure that you notch every curvy part, then you go ahead and iron it. So I've ironed it, so everything looks neat. So everything looks really neat. So this is the inside. So let's move to the bottom part of the fabric. So I'm going to be taking out the pins. So the first thing we're going to do is you are going to first join the zipper allowance. So the allowance I left for the zipper is 1 inch. So that's the back fabric, so it's 1 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and sew 1 inch for the zipper allowance, just as you can see. So I've gone ahead to sew it and I've ironed it as well. So that is the back above, and this is the front piece for the bottom part. So next thing, I'm just going to go ahead and notch the front. I'm going to notch it because we are going to be joining the bottom part to the fabric. I'm going to be joining the bottom part to the upper part. So first, I'm also going to notch the upper part. I'm going to notch the middle so that it can be equal, so that they can align. So this is me notching it. So now I'm going to be placing the wrong side of the bottom part to the wrong side of the upper part, and I'm just going to make sure that it's going to be at that point that I notch, so that everything is going to be equal. So I'm going to go ahead and use the pin to hold it down. Let's use the pins to hold it down. So the next thing, you are going to be sewing 0.5 inches. So this is what it looks like. We have not gone to sew it, but this is what it's going to look like by the time you are done sewing. So after sewing, this is what the front piece looks like. This is what the front piece looks like. So let's move to the back. So this is the back. So I'm going to loosen the bottom part of the back pattern. That's like the zipper allowance area. So we are going to be joining the bottom part of the back pattern to the upper part of the back pattern. So all you have to do, that's you are pinning, where you are joining is around the waistline. So you are going to pin it and you are going to sew 0.5 inches across. So this is what it looks like after sewing it. And I've also gone ahead to iron it. So I'm out of gum stain. If not, I'll have used gum stain to gum the interface. I'm out of gum stain. So the next thing now we're going to be doing, now we're going to be joining the front piece and the back piece. That's around the shoulder. So you are going to be joining the two shoulders together. So you are going to take it to your sewing machine and join the two shoulders together. So this is what we have after joining the shoulders together. So this is what I have. This is what it looks like. So the next thing now, we are going to be joining the side seam. The side seam. So remember that I stated that I use 1 inch for the side seam. So all I'm going to be doing is take 1 inch, 1 inch straight down on both sides, and 1 inch on the other side for the side seam. So 1 inch across on both sides for the side seam. So you're just going to take it to your sewing machine and sew. So this is what we have after sewing, after joining it together. So I've joined the front piece and the back piece together, and I've also ironed it. So this is what it looks like. Now we're going to be is to add the gathers to the curvy part of this gown. So now to get the actual length of the gathers, that's the length. So your shoulder to waist measurement plus your waist to where you start covering your backs by the side, you add it together, then you deduct it from the actual gown length. So whatever you have is going to be what you are going to be using to cut the gathers length. And to get the width, you just take your tape rule like this round and measure it all around, just like you can see. So for this I have about 30 inches, so 30 times 2, that's 60. So to get the extra width that you want, you can just say 60 times 3 yards and 3. So whatever you have will be what you are going to be using for the gathers. So the more the fullness, the better. When you get the length of the fabric that you are going to use for the gathers, please make sure you had your sewing allowance and an extra 1 inch to hem it at the bottom. So the remaining fabric that I have is what I'm going to be using to run the gathers around the asymmetric line. So I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and join it to the upper part of the. So this is what it looks like after adding the gathers to the asymmetric hem line. So this is the back. This is what the back looks like. So the next thing we are going to do now is to add a zipper, hem it at the bottom. So instead of stitching it, you can just use your hem gum. And also I'm going to be showing you the full look on a mannequin. So this is the sleeve. I have about 2 pieces, so I didn't record when I was cutting it, but I'll be dropping a link in the description box on how to draft a basic sleeve. So I'm going to go ahead and fix this sleeve. I have about 2 pieces, and also stitch the bottom part of the dress. So this is what the dress finally looks like. So I wore it on the mannequin. So I tried to fix it very well so that I can see it properly, because this is for the person's bust is 47 and the waist is about 39 to 40 inches. So I try as much as possible to be able to show you what it looks like. So If this is something you like, guys, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like and share. Thank you. This is also going to show you the sides. I hope you like it.